Hey, what's going on, Inspirators? It's your boy Tony D from TonyDoyleInspires.com. Checking in with you once again. Appreciate you guys popping into the Inspirate channel again today. We got something special on tap for you. Actually, this is going to be an introduction video, and we'll have a few videos to come on similar subject matter. And I think it's going to be really interesting for you. But this initial video, we are going to be giving you guys an introduction just to make sure everybody's caught up with a base level knowledge of energy centers. That's right, we're talking about chakras. I'm going to be specifically telling you guys about a 12-part energy system. So you guys may have, if you have studied chakras, you may have studied the 7 chakras of the body, and that's great. If you haven't studied that, that's fine. We're going to go over that in today's intro video as well. But then we're going to talk about the higher chakras as well, and what that means as far as our evolvement, our enlightenment, our expanded selves, our shift, those type of things. So if energy centers, chakra, the managing of energy within your body, and how we translate that, transmute that into our own personal body temple. If that's interesting to you, do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do hit that little bell symbol over there as well. That's a notification symbol that lets you know whenever we put out new content. And if you guys follow me, you know we are dedicated to putting out new videos every single day to keep you inspired, motivated, high vibrational, and literally just to keep you increase your happiness quotient and your satisfaction with your life on this planet. So we have tons of videos. Please feel free to check out our archives. And with no further ado, we're going to dig into this. I have some prepared comments here because I want to make sure I hit all the bases. I also have a chart that I'm going to show you here in a minute with the chakras of the 12-part energy series. So let's just talk about it. So most correctly, they're called energy centers. They are often used interchangeably with chakra, which is a Sanskrit word, which means simply wheel or disc, right? So in yoga meditation, like Ayurveda, this term refers to wheels of energy throughout the body, okay? If those of you who follow Abraham, you can think of it like the vortex, like the spinning energy that we're talking about, okay? So there are 7 main chakras within the body temple itself, okay? And these are the ones that you probably have been taught about, if you know about chakras at all. If not, no problem at all. It's a little on the esoteric side, but it's definitely something I think that if you're following me on this channel, it's something that you guys are ready to learn about. So let's talk a little bit about the chakras, or the energy centers, okay? Like I said, there's 7 of them here within our main body temple, which align with the spine, okay? And they start all the way from the base of the spine through to the crown of the head. Let's go ahead and pull in this chart I made for you guys. And forgive my art, it's not great. I drew this here for you guys though. Okay, let me see if I can get it all the way in here. We have limited space. So hopefully you guys can see that. I'll share the frame with it a little bit. So if we're talking about the 7 basic chakras, right, we're starting here from what we call the roots, all the way up to the top of our head, which is what we call the crown. That is 1 through 7, and we'll go through these specifically. Just want to, like I said, provide an introduction for this. So to visualize the chakras in the body, imagine swirling wheels of energy where matter and consciousness meet. This invisible healing energy called prana. You guys have probably heard of that term. If you guys follow my man Ralph Smart, he's always talking about breathing in that good ass prana, right? That's what we call life force, the vital life force energy, which keeps us vibrant, healthy, and alive. And in shamanic religions and cultures and systems, this is the prime way of healing and wellness, actually, more so than just healing, is keeping that wellness in our body. All right. So each of these spinning discs align along the spine, and they help us disseminate codes and energies to certain portions of the body and functions. So and we'll go through, like I said, we're going to go through the specifics of the main chakras in the body. But in addition to that, we do have the higher chakras that we'll be talking about as well, all the way up to those which interpret light codes and DNA upgrades and those type of things. So stay tuned, because this 12-part chakra energy center system is what newest science and yoga have come together to describe for us as we are going through this shift. So it's important that we get this base level down. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Like I said, I do have some notes here, so forgive me as I'm reading some of this, but I don't want to miss anything for you guys, especially in the basics, okay? So let's talk about the importance of the main chakras of the body here. So these basic 7 here that we have known about for thousands of years, okay? These swirling wheels of energy correspond to massive nerve centers in the body, okay? Each of the 7 main chakras contain bundles of nerves and major organs, as well as psychological, emotional, and spiritual states of being, okay? So these are very pertinent to what we do on a day-to-day basis, whether we know it or not. As with all things, in nature, obviously they go along with or without our knowledge, but once we do have that awareness, then we're able to use them more to our advantage, right? So since everything is moving, okay, and we know everything is moving, right? We know there is no solid. Everything is vibrational, okay, and it is also spinning. So once again, think of Abraham's vortex concept, spinning whirls of energy, right? Always moving, both this way and this way, okay? So since everything is moving, it's essential that our 7 main chakras stay open, aligned, and fluid, right? So we talk a lot about flow and alignment, and this is where really the rubber meets the road. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So if there is, say, some blockages, energy flow is restricted, right? That makes sense. Think about like a crimped hose or something. Or think of like something as simple as your bathtub drain. Okay, we all can relate to that. So in your bathtub drain, if you allow too much hair to go down the drain, what happens? Starts to go slower and slower. Water starts to stagnate and stand, right? It starts to back up, right? And eventually bacteria and mold will grow. Okay, so too it is with our bodies and the chakras. The bathtub is simple, it's physical, so its fix is a lot more easy, but still I think you get the idea. So keeping the chakras open is a bit more of a challenge because there are more things that can affect it, right? but not so difficult once we have the awareness. As with all things, it's about bringing the awareness to it. Okay, since mind, body, soul, and spirit are intimately connected, awareness of imbalance in one area through chakra meditation, body checks, body scans will help bring the others back into balance. Okay, take for example, let's have another story real quick here. This actually relates to a live that I did not too long ago on Facebook. If you follow me, you may have seen this, but one of my friends, a follower, we'll talk about her a little bit. She was a wife. Okay, so take her story here a little bit. She recently had lost her husband. Okay, we'll just start there. She was a wife. She recently lost her husband, and she began to develop acute bronchitis. Okay, which which basically took over her chest, and then as she was trying to treat that a little bit, she started getting chest pains each time she coughed. And pretty soon her whole heart chakra, and we're going to talk about that, but her heart chakra is completely affected in the case. Now, if she had the awareness, if she realized up front, and she knew this about this connection between the heart chakra and the organs of the body and those things, then she would know that the bronchitis and the healing, or the bronchitis and those symptoms were related more so to her feelings of a broken heart and those type of things, and her healing would have been much faster, because at the same time as they were treating the symptoms, they could have been treating the underlying blockages of the energy center as well, if that makes sense. So like I said, we'll talk more in future videos about blockages and how to recognize them and how to clear them up. This main one, I really want to let you know about the chakras. We'll catch you up on the 7, and then we're going to talk about some higher chakras as well. So let's just go through the basics. All right, so the first chakra, we already talked about it. We call that the root chakra. And it is the chakra of stability, security, our basic needs right here in human form, 3D. It encompasses the first 3 vertebrae, the bladder, and the colon. So all of those body functions as well. When this chakra is open, we feel safe and fearless. Okay? When it's not, obviously just the opposite, right? We're living in a scared life. Scarcity, we aren't feeling brave, right? We're shrinking down. And these are just clues, so we'll go through it a little bit now, but these are clues to when we have physical maladies in our life, or even emotional ones, how we might be able to treat that, what might be actually going on. So that's the first chakra. The second chakra, we move up here, it controls our creativity. It's our sexual center, obviously, and it's located just above the pubic bone and below the navel. Okay, so obviously we know that area. It is responsible for not only sexuality, but for our creativity and our expression, okay, to a large degree. And obviously all the sexual organs are considered under the domain of that energy center as well. Moving up to the third chakra. This chakra we call the lustrous gem, and it's the area from the navel up to the breastbone. Okay, so that's this third chakra here. That third chakra is our source of personal power. Okay, especially when it comes to physicality. So our physical power, our strength, those type of things. Okay, so these three are what we call and consider the chakras of matter. Okay, those are the energy centers of our human existence, our 3D reality. Okay, that is our basic, if you guys know Maslow's hierarchy, these are the three energy centers which help us um, basically use those, feel safe, feel confident, and be a human being. So this is a human being human, right? As we move up a little bit, it starts to get interesting, okay? So the next chakra up there is our connection between matter and spirit, and that is our heart center, okay? So this is one of the most important chakras for a lot of reasons. It is the fourth chakra in the middle of the seven and unites the lower chakras that we talked about of the body and matter with the upper chakras of the spirit. All right. So the fourth is also spiritual, obviously, but serves as a bridge between the body, mind, emotions, and spirit. The heart chakra is our source of love and connection. Okay. It is our power, it's our source of passion. When we work through our physical chakras, the first three that we talked about, we can open the spiritual chakras more fully. Okay, and the key to that is the heart chakra, the heart center, right? And just real quick, if you guys do follow me, you know we talk about mindset, heart set, soul set, and health set. And obviously, heart set is controlled by this fourth center. And we talk about in manifestation, thoughts become things, but how does that do that? We take our thought from here, we power it up with the force and the energy from our heart center. We send that request out to the universe. Okay, and we're going to talk about the higher centers here in a second and how those translate and transmute for us. But then once we get in alignment, we can receive those codes back to us. These energy centers do their jobs and help our body, the trillions of cells in our body, get direct knowledge from our source, from the fields, from God, however you like to say that. So heart center is super important. So that is the fourth center there in the center of the chest. Moving up, we are in what we call the chakras of spirit. Okay, so the fifth chakra is located in the area of the throat. All right, this is our source of verbal expression, the ability to speak our highest truth, right? The fifth chakra includes the neck, the thyroid, the parathyroid glands, the jaw, the mouth, and the tongue. Okay, so all this area is controlled by the fifth chakra there. So super important, obviously, especially as a human being on this planet, because the main communication method here is speech, right? Not that it's the only communication method, and as we become more evolved, it becomes less of our lives, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. So moving up, the sixth chakra is located between the eyebrows, okay? So move his hat up a little bit. Right here, if you guys are into tapping, and let me say it's not here, which is where a lot of people place it. We call it the third eye. It actually is in line right here, just slightly above those two eyes, between the two eyebrows. And if you guys are into EFT or tapping, you know that's one of our tapping points, right? This is our source. Like I said, it's referred to as the third eye, and this is our source of intuition. This is our center for those spiritual things, obviously, as well as mind. Some with physical brain, which is separate from mind, which we'll talk about in another video. But specifically, this is our intuition, okay? And we talk about that a lot. If you think about what you've heard in mythology or in other practices about the third eye, right? It's almost always referring to intuition, okay? We all have a sense of intuition, but we may not listen to it or heed, its counsel, right? We can focus on opening this sixth chakra, and we'll talk about that in future videos, but that actually helps us hone this ability for more intuition. And there's actually, lots more that we can do with that later on when we're not such 3D beings. So remember, we're talking about 3D moving into 4D, which is the collapse of time and space, and then into 5D, which is ascension. So we're going to talk about that here in just a second. Let's talk a little bit about the seventh chakra, okay? Right here at the crown of the head, right? So that is our crown chakra. The Sanskrit word is translated to thousand petaled lotus, all right, and for good reason. This chakra is the chakra of enlightenment, spiritual connection to our higher selves and others, and ultimately to the divine itself, whatever that means for us, right? Like I said, it's located right on the crown of the head, and it completes what we consider the chakras of the spirit. And those are the 7 basic chakras of the body temple. Now, within the last 10 to 15 years, gurus, shaman, folks who study yoga extensively and get downloads, they have identified these higher energy centers as the world starts to shift on that we should focus on, okay? And you may have seen this. There are lots of gurus that are now teaching the 12 energy centers as opposed to just the 7 basic chakras, and this is why. These higher energy chakras, okay? The position of these chakras, 9, obviously we've got 9 important spiritual chakras that we really get our downloads from. We've also got one, and we're going to talk about this, that keeps us grounded to the earth and is key to our healing. If you guys know, when you get out into nature, lots of times we talk about grounding and things like that. So we'll actually get to that. That's the 10th chakra, and that chakra is key to us healing our body on an ongoing basis. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about all of these higher ones, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Super interesting. You may not have ever heard of these, so we're going to talk about these, and these are these right here and right down here. So let's get into it. The 8th chakra is located slightly above the crown, okay? Actually just about an inch or so, we believe. With the 8th chakra, we now enter realms transcending space and time, all right? So that is that 3D to 4D shift. This energy center is said to be open access to parallel universes and lives. It gives access to the realms of the Akashic records, which we have videos about, and the sphere of potentialities, all in the making, right? All the potentials that we have, all the possibilities. It's a useful center for shamanic healing and communication with our spirit guides, okay? And it makes total sense that that would be right above our own crown chakra of our body temple, right? Now moving up, the 9th chakra is located just a little further above the crown chakra and is said to be the seat of the soul, all right? This allows access to your soul's code or higher purpose. It can be seen as the door to the archetypal energies or patterns that play important roles in shaping our destiny. All right, so hopefully this is super interesting to you. I love this stuff. So we're talking about these two right here above the crown chakra, and how important they are to us as far as our growth goes, as we're making this shift from 3D to 4D and on into 5D. Obviously, we need access to those things, and we have it. And when we keep our chakras aligned and open, we have access to those things more and more. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the 10th chakra, okay? I alluded to that earlier. The 10th chakra is located about 18 inches, a foot and a half below the surface of the ground. So anywhere we are, it is about 18 inches below us. And it ensures our connection with the earth. Okay? Because it works primarily with the energies of the earth, it is very physical in nature as well. Although, like I said, it is definitely part of prana and is esoteric. It works with our body temple and our 7 basic chakras, especially these first 3 physical ones, right? So this provides our connection to the earth, grounding energies, and to our environment and Mother Nature. Okay, just like the root chakra that we talked about earlier, it's useful for healing, especially of bone and bone marrow related issues. Can also play a role in DNA related hereditary issues. Okay, especially those things of the earth, right? So super interesting there. The 10th chakra actually is below us. Now we move up to the 11th and 12th chakras. They are symbolized by these circles, okay? This bubble of protection on the outside of us. And this is why. The 11th chakra is located on the outside of the human body. It is said to be accessible only through the hands and feet. Okay? It makes up an energy field, and we talk about the field, right? It makes up the energy field that connects humans in our human sphere of influence to the supernatural. Shamans use the chakra dimension to produce magic and influence the physical with supernatural powers. Okay, what we consider supernatural powers because it's outside of our body temple and the nature that we know with our senses, right? With our natural senses here in this 3D planet. Okay, the 11th chakra emphasizes the mind as a powerful tool to shape matter. Sound familiar? Thoughts become things. So now we start to see how these energy centers work. Okay, so we've got this big energy center that's actually surrounding and circling our body, and it's affecting, it's reading our thoughts. We're powering it up, and we're projecting that out into the universe, to the greater magnetic field, the divine, and that's where the 12th chakra comes in. The 12th chakra is located on the furthest outside of the 12 chakra system. It allows us to stretch, to learn, to grow our common sphere of understanding into universal unity, right, with all that is. It is said that it is the chakra of the mastery of the soul's purpose through our human existence. Okay, so if this is our human, okay, we're starting to get some spirit here, further ascension. Now we're able to be creators. How do we do that? Once again, thoughts become things. We power it up. We send it into the field. That's reflected back to us. Okay, this right here, this energy center's responsibility is to help us in downloading those codes, right? So light codes, DNA upgrades, those type of things. What it does is translate and transmute that to the trillions of cells in our body temple through these energy centers. That disperses and they get their code, their marching orders strictly from source. So that is the 12 chakra energy system. I hope you guys found that interesting. And like I said, we're going to talk about the importance of alignment. And, if you guys do follow Abraham, you've definitely heard of alignment. But when we break it down and include the chakras and the energy systems and how we can keep ourselves in a line and ready to receive those codes, it's far more interesting, at least for me, and I hope for you as well. And it's also allows us to participate more so in the process. Okay, once again, it's about awareness. So hopefully that's interesting for you. I enjoyed bringing it to you, and we've got more videos in this series to come. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the little bell symbol, and remember, hit the thumbs up if you liked it. It works with the algorithm in YouTube to suggest videos to like-minded friends. And as always, if you love this, send it out direct through all your social media platforms, however you like it. So hopefully you guys found this interesting. Let me know down in the comments, or jump over to Facebook, to the Facebook group of the same name, NSPR8. All right. As always, love you guys. I'm going to leave you there with this one, but we'll be following up within a week or so with part 2 of this series. Let me know how you like it, and until tomorrow, send you peace and love and inspiration.